Hi guys, Saki with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a free-for-all match on the map Rivers Wild. I'm starting in the top right hand position, playing as the Soviets. So in this game I'm on Rivers Wild. It's a map that has a mixture of ore and gems. And I'm in a pretty good position, I would say, because I've got ore patches like either side of me. I've got one up above me, I've got one very close, which you can see now, which is just below me. So I'm in a good spot in terms of resources. Now, this is a three-way free-for-all match, which is something I very rarely do. We just did this because there wasn't many people online, so there was no one to join, and we decided we'd rather just have a game. Because the reason I don't like three-way free-for-alls is because what usually happens is no one wants to attack each other, because if two teams attack each other, the third team can just build up and then win the game. So it sometimes turns into very long-drawn matches. But we'll see how this one goes. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm going to be building double war factory, because it's an ore and gem match, so that's the best way. 2 war factories, build 2 ore trucks before going for your second ore refinery. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be expanding. You can see I've done a little bit of scouting towards that ore patch to the top of my base, so we can see that now, and that's where I'm going to be sort of base crawling to. And then I've got other opportunities to base crawl to other areas of the map, because there's one in the top right hand corner as well. So I am in a very good starting position. In terms of positions, I know where one of my opponents are. You probably saw at the start. He chose his position to be in the bottom middle, and the other person is going to be starting in a random position, as I did. So they don't know where I am. I know where one of the other players is, but not the other one. So that's why I'm doing a little bit of scouting, just to get map visibility and also try and find that player. I am playing as Soviets, so I'm not going to get satellite or anything like that. And there's a crate there. Let's see what that gives us. So that's a money box, and that's a pretty good crate to get right early in the game. Can make quite a big difference, makes the startup a lot easier. And now I'm going on to my third war factory, so I'm going to be able to get that economy going and get that tank production working well. I am starting like a bit more cautiously. I'm not like jumping into multi-MCVs or anything like that, because there's only a few of us. Oh, and we can see that yellow there is going for multiple MCVs, so that's really good that I had that map visibility, because now what I can do is I can tailor my strategy accordingly. So what I'm going to do, I see that yellow's going multi-MCV. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And before that happens, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out 2 ore trucks, because I know that yellow's not going to send an attack in anytime soon, because he's not going to go for multi-MCV and then send an attack in while he has lower tanks. What he's going to do is he's going to wait for that multi-MCV strategy to benefit him. So that means I'm going to go for I'm going to go like hardcore. I'm going to go for 5 MCVs. So really go right into it. And what I'm doing is I'm just using these tanks just to get a bit of visibility. I'm going to be getting my radar dome, and we'll get rid of that jeep there that we can see from Cyan. But yeah, going for 5 MCVs. And one thing this will let us do as well is it'll help us expand to the top right hand position, and we can see that range unfortunately getting right into the base. So what I'm probably going to try and do is get a large power plant and then get a Tesla down, because a Tesla will take down that jeep in 1 hit. But yeah, not great to have your enemy get that much visibility on the base, but it's happened. And we can see that jeep there, and it's taken out finally, but getting a lot of information about what our base is like. And there you can see that we've got those 2 other MCVs, so we'll get them placed down. And you can see how I've spread the MCVs out a bit, the construction yards, and that means if I do get attacked, at least they're not all in the same place. So if I lose one part of my base, I've got MCVs in the other parts of my base, which will hopefully it'll work out. We'll find out anyway. And just keeping the power on, getting some Teslas in different parts. Teslas, of course, do great damage against tanks, because they're just so effective. As long as you use them in conjunction with other things, like if you have tanks protecting them, a single Tesla alone, of course, won't defend the whole base. And we can see that yellow is expanded across the map. We can see from our radar dome image and the parts that we've got sight on. So I think yellow will be gearing up now for probably, we'll probably be fighting shortly, but just placing my ore refineries in different parts around the map, just getting my economy to be in as good position as it can possibly be in. And just you can see me expanded to all those different parts. And you've also got these like small gem patches in different parts of the island, which can make a big difference towards the start, certainly. I mean, it's just fun, isn't it? And getting another war factory now, so that's going to put me on 4 war factories. So my tank building speed is going to be very, very quick. And also I've got good building speed, so I'll be able to build Teslas in different parts of my base. And this is one of the things about free-for-all matches. You can notice that there's like not been much activity so far. And that's the thing, free-for-all matches, people always hesitate a little bit. They're not like too eager to attack each other because you attack one player and the other player could attack you. And now we're putting some Teslas down this cliff edge. So if yellow does make a move, he's gonna, yeah, you can see him. He's moved back a bit there. He doesn't really want to fight tanks with Tesla firing in the background. Also getting out a tech centre. That'll give me access to Tanyas if I want to use them. So I'll be able to like helicopter them in. It depends on how much other players use base defences. I'll also need a bit more map visibility as well, hopefully, in order to use that. Although I might be able to get some cheeky Tanya kills there. With that base up at the top and just getting more Teslas down, getting more tanks. And if I can get some good kills with the Tanya, that'll be absolutely great because... yeah, and getting that down, so that's a construction yard and a ore refinery down there. So that's... yeah, it was a good kill. But I think now yellow will have seen that and he'll probably have... yeah, you can see a pillbox going in there. Am I going to get the pillbox? I do, but I don't get the tech centre. And that's what I really wanted, because if I'd got that tech centre, you could see actually that satellite went up. And that means he'll have full map visibility. So I probably won't get another opportunity like that. I'm just going to cancel the Tanyas. You can see there 2 pillboxes going up. Both around that tech centre, because that's one building he doesn't want to lose, because if he loses that tech centre, he'll lose full map visibility. Unless he, of course, he builds a tech centre elsewhere on the map. But now I'm going to be sending some heavy tanks in. Let's have a look at how he responds. You can see, oh, and he's got some cruisers there. So opting to build some navy. The cruisers will be like dead annoying actually on that lake there if he gets a whole bunch of them. Because they'll be able to deal a whole lot of damage. Although they can be a double-edged sword, because what happens with cruisers is, yeah, they do great damage to tanks, but if you get in the opponent's base, they also damage the person's buildings as well. So a lot of structures can be lost. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be getting out these airfields and I'm going to be getting some MiGs, because what I want to do is I want to take out that tech centre. So I'm building those MiGs and they'll build pretty fast with having 6 airfields. And I'm just going to build 7 because I do know that some structures do require 7 MiGs. You need 6 MiGs to destroy a construction yard, but I think if it's a war factory or an ore refinery, you do need 7. So I'll get 7 out because I think that's the optimum number. And now we can see that yellow is starting to budge his tanks together in a pretty aggressive position. And now I've got these airfields nicely lined up. I know a lot of you like them to be lined up neatly. And now we're going to go for that tech centre. Let's see, does yellow have any air defences? We'll soon find out. And you can see that tech centre has gone down, so that'll hopefully reduce his map vision. I'm not sure about it because he could have a tech centre elsewhere. We don't have full map visibility, but that'll certainly be an annoyance to him. And now we'll be able to start attacking the different parts of his base. Just like do a little bit of damage and just be annoying really. What we'll do is we'll go for some of those cruisers, because those cruisers will be dead annoying to us. And ooh, you can see there, 7 wasn't quite enough. He's still got some HP on that. So I'll build another one that'll give me 8 MiGs altogether, and hopefully that'll be enough to take them down. I guess it'll also depend on whether the cruisers are moving as well, and also because yellow is playing as allies, he will be able to use gap generators to sort of hide some of his building structures and also things in the water, getting a bit more visibility there. There's a couple of cruisers there now on low HP, so they should be quite easy to take out, and it'll just be one more shot. Although you can see that naval yard is actually healing them, so what we'll do is we'll go for that red one. I think we got that. But as you can see, what I was saying before about gap generators, he's just put one up so I can no longer see what's going on that water. And that's going to make things a bit more difficult. And now I'm just unblocking that ore refinery, which was having a bit of problems there. The ore trucks are quite annoying when they get jammed. And gap generators going up all over the place now with the base. But what we've got on the right-hand side of the map is we've got Cyan going in for an attack. He's got a few rangers there, and those are super annoying. Just taking out some of my ore trucks with them. Of course, rangers are quite a strange unit to opt for. They don't do much damage. But what I'm going to need to do, because I don't have any base defense, I didn't expect him to go from this position. And now he's going for those MiGs, so taking them out, which is super annoying. We've got those Tesla coils though, and they'll make short work of those rangers. So we managed to take them out, but lost a bit of funds there. And MiGs are expensive, so that's going to take quite a lot to replace in terms of resources. So that's pretty annoying. But now what we're doing is we're going for an attack on yellow's base. So we're going to go in here, fight those medium tanks on the top, and we'll also try and hit the economy there as well. So far so good. It looks like we're going to be able to take out those ore trucks on the top ore patch. All I'm doing is I'm keeping an eye on that radar dome, so in the top right, just to see if he does go for attack on my main base. But now he's bringing more tanks back, and this is where it starts to get a bit difficult. He's also building some base defences. We can see some turrets coming out there, and turrets do decent damage against tanks as well. And I think with the turrets and the tanks there, I am going to get wiped out. And now he seems to be bringing in some of those medium tanks into the main part of my base. I have got some Tesla to defend though, and I'm bringing some some heavy tanks in behind him. But yeah, some of those Tesla look like they are going to be taken out, unfortunately. Those ones there, but now that I've got my tanks in, I think these Tesla behind him are going to be a lot more effective, and I do suspect we'll be able to clear those medium tanks up no problem. So that's gone okay. So losing quite a few he's lost quite a few tanks there, and we've lost, yeah, we lost all the tanks that we brought in for the attack at the top of the map. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those MiGs back up and running and try and do some further damage. I'm going to have to look a bit further down now because it looks like there's some movement there. Going for my middle base, and yeah, I'm just wondering, yeah, there's a little bit of an opening there, and I'm not defended, so I'm going to need to sort of get in there. And you can see there the cruiser doing a bit of firing on me, so I just have to be a little bit careful there. I don't want to get my tanks too damaged by those cruisers. So I've got enough tanks there now, and I've got a good base building speed, so I'm going to be able to get some Teslas down. So that's going to be absolutely fine. I just need to be careful in this and not, I don't want to commit too much, because with all the base defences and cruisers and all that, and we've still got another player in the bottom as well as Cyan, so we need to be kind of careful there. What I'm doing now is I'm just having a bit of a look around, see if there's any things I can attack. You can see he's getting more and more gap generators though, so I can see less and less of the map. But we could see a war factory there, so we'll try and take that out. And now I'm going to go back for another attack at the top of the map. And yeah, I can just see my MiGs coming back. There's definitely some AA defences there of some sort, whether it's rocket troopers or just the AA defences. But yeah, now I'll send in some paratroopers as well, just to have a little bit of a look and see if we can destroy anything. And there's a pillbox right there, so I'm not going to be able to do any attacks behind his base. And now those tanks coming in, so let's say at the top of the map now, he's spotted me with his medium tanks, and I was just going to use those heavy tanks to go down. I don't know whether I might go right to the edge here and just go down this part of the map and just take out any of the buildings there, because he did have a construction yard in that area. That's where he had initially the tech centre, which got destroyed. So I'll just see what's going on here. He's also got an oil refinery supply, surprisingly, which he's selling, and he's also sold the construction yard. I mean, there wasn't much there, but I may as well get rid of it. And now we're going to go into this ore patch once again. He's got some medium tanks there. We'll go for the fight. We're just going to move around as much as possible and just take as little damage as we can. And we've got quite a good, decent trade there at the start. He does seem to have more medium tanks, but I am using heavy tanks which are a bit stronger. And now we've taken out one of those ore trucks. And it's just a case of microing as best I can and doing as much damage as I possibly can do at this point in time. I'm not going to have enough tanks, unfortunately, there to take him out. So I'm going to need to pull back a little bit. I'm just having a bit of a think now of how I'm going to, get a stronghold on that point. And it might be a case of, taking an MCV into that position. And, yeah, I think I've took some damage in my base. I don't know if I've lost a war factory or something there, but there's certainly something going on off. It might be a nuclear strike, possibly. I don't know anyway, but... Right, so now we're going to go into this position here now. We've got a war factory so we can produce tanks nice and close. I don't know if I've been a bit hasty there and not got set up properly first. I should have probably taken a few more tanks in. So now let's see how this fight goes. We do have some Tesla. We've got 3 Tesla going at the moment. We've got tanks being produced. And one of the Teslas been taken down, but every time he has to take a Tesla down, he's going to lose more tanks because my tank's going to fire on him, and we've managed to sort of stay there. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be building Tesla really close to his base, and we're going to probably be able to fire on those ore trucks in that ore patch, and those medium tanks now coming up. Yeah, I don't know where...
Building. Unit lost.
Yeah, the question is, what do I do at this point? Is he going to go for an attack just on that base? I don't know. And you can see a massive attack from Cyan at the bottom of the map. And I should have probably suspected this was going to happen. You can see there, Cyan's got a big medium tank army. And that's what happens when you're just fighting between 2 people. A big army there coming from the bottom of the map. And it's completely wiped out part of my base at the top, and now Yellow going in for the attack. He's noticed the chaos. He's probably got a tech sensor, so he'll have satellite, and he'll be able to see that Cyan's gone for a full-out attack against myself. And now we have to try and defend against this as much as possible. But Yellow using this opportunity to take out some of my structures further up my base. So let's see what he manages to take out. It looks like he's going for the economy, so he's going for the ore refineries. And you can just see Cyan just has so many tanks there. It looks like I'm going to be, yeah, I don't know if I have enough to defend against this, because of course I do have some tanks further up, but it's not looking good at all.
Unit ready.
And now you can see those Cyan tanks going back. And it depends whether Cyan goes right in and all the way through, or whether he tries to... Oh, you can see Yellow being really annoying there. What he's doing is he's just covering that ore patch so my ore trucks can't get to it. So we'll have to wait and see what we can do now. We've also lost some power, unfortunately.
Unit lost. Building.
And I think it's, or maybe the radar dome's just out. No, I've got radar dome, I've just low on power. So I'm going to have to wait to get that sorted. Yeah, and you can just see these yellow tanks strewn around a little bit. So I'm going to have to be careful of them. And now we can see those Cyan ore trucks. And I think this is why Cyan was so attacking me now. Because he's ran out of ore low down on the map. So he's needed to go up the map, and I'm at that ore patch. So he's needed to... So the position has changed quite a bit now. It's just about me trying to get, basically get my stuff back together, get grouped up, get my economy back on track, get my base well protected, and just build some of those ore refineries back up. But you can see I'm in a bit of trouble now. And now some of those yellow tanks coming up from the right-hand side of the map. Obviously, he's been taking out my base at the other side. We're going to need to try and take out these tanks. But they're not going to get very far into my base. Fortunately, I will be able to take out those tanks. The problem is, at the moment, I don't have a radar dome. And now those yellow tanks coming from another part of the map. And of course, I'm low on power, so I need to get these power plants back up. Yeah, but I should have done that a bit ago. So now we're going to go for these medium tanks, and I'll get some large power plants. Hopefully these, yeah, these Teslas are going to get back up.
Unit ready.
I think I've also lost some now, and now we can see the Cyan's army is back at the bottom of my base, and yeah, that's pretty bad.
Unit lost.
And if he keeps on going, he's actually going to hand the match to Yellow, because Yellow's going to absolutely wipe him out otherwise. Because I am not the, you can see I've been isolated to like this like little bit now, so yeah, if he keeps on going like this, Yellow's going to easily win, no problem, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we've got a big massive Cyan army there, and my army's probably not going to be big enough to defeat it, and even if I do defeat this army here, then I am going to get attacked by Yellow straight after, but I really do have no choice. He's covering the ore patch, and I don't have much ore at the other side of the map, but you can see the Yellow army coming from the other side, and now those tanks coming in to finish off my base. So I'm going to have to defend on that side as well, so I'm going to have to leave those Cyan tanks there for the time being. It didn't look like those Cyan tanks were moving around much at all, it was just sitting them there, but these Yellow tanks are moving around, and after they've defeated those buildings there, they would go onto the right side of my base, so I'm going to need to clear these up right now. And yeah, I didn't really need that radar dome actually, so no point in building that. Well, I've got a spare one now anyway, so even if I do lose the radar dome further down, I've got one left. I'll also try, well, I would try and repair it, but as you can see, my funds and resources are starting to run a little bit lower. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be building up the Tesla inside this base here, just so I get, yeah, a little bit stronger, a bit more protected, because those Cyan tanks could go on the attack at any point in time. So just getting the Tesla built up, I need pretty much like a group of them, just behind some structures as well, so the Cyan tanks can't just directly fire, they have to go through some buildings to get there. But yeah, I'm just going to be building up these numbers, and some of them are going to be in range now. You can see that Tesla doing a little bit of damage. We'll have to see if Cyan notices, and how many tanks we can take out like that, because if we just like yeah, he's noticed now, and now it looks like he's going for the attack there. I'm just going to build some Tesla inside there, so you can see where you got like 3 Tesla. He's trying to destroy some of the airfields just to try and get in. He's only bringing a few tanks at a time, which works well for me, because if you're only bringing a few tanks, he's not going to be able to really destroy those Tesla very well. And now just building more Tesla. I've also got my tanks in as well now, and if he tries to go on an attack with his medium tanks against tanks and Tesla, he'll give me a more efficient trade. Because yeah, you can see he wants to try and get in at the moment. I've got 2 Tesla behind me, firing on those medium tanks. We'll try and get some Tesla a bit further forward as well. But as we're doing that, we can see that Yellow is lining up his tanks at the other side of our base once again. Using Cyan's presence as an opportunity to attack my base, and now Cyan is coming in, and this could be bad for me because I've just been taking my tanks up. I wasn't expecting him to go in for the attack because he'd been quite passive earlier on, but now he's being a little bit more aggressive. I'm bringing my tanks down. I'm going to bring my Tesla. I've got some Tesla still there to help, but he's gone in for an all-out attack, and we'll have to see how this goes. Yeah, 2 Teslas still working. I've got another Tesla being built on the way, and we'll see if we can defend against this. Yellow, fortunately, just stayed on that oil patch for now, so hopefully he's not going to be doing too much. But now my tank mass has fell drastically, and I've got very few tanks there. I'm going to sell those airfields as well because they're not really doing anything at the moment. And I've got a few more Tesla. I've got like 4 Tesla there. Just trying to get my tank numbers built up a little bit, and just bait Cyan in, because I just want to get rid of those tanks. Once I get rid of those tanks, I can start mining properly. I've got like a couple of ore trucks mining at the top there, so let's see if these tanks, we're going to be able to bait them in. Are they going to come and fight my tanks and the Tesla at the same time? Because at the moment, I think I might just have enough to win that if they do go for the attack. The only problem is I've got Yellow at the other side of my base, who could also do an attack. But those Cyan tanks seem to be pulling a little bit back at the moment. Yeah, it looks like they've cooled off for the time being, and that's probably a good thing because Yellow will have had a bit of time to really build up. The only problem is I've got those Cyan ore trucks further down the map, and they're using up some of that ore. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building up these defences, getting more Tesla, and as those ore trucks get close to my base, those Tesla will be able to fire. We might actually go for the ore trucks now ourselves, because those cyan tanks are pulled back, and it's just, yeah, there's loads of ore trucks there. They're going to be taking up all that ore, and I'm going to need those funds and resources if I want to fight yellow successfully. So I'm just going to take out this outer base. You can see those ore refineries going down, and that construction yard as well, and it's all being destroyed. But yellow is now coming up from my base. He's going for an attack on the top part of my base. So I'm just trying to get some Tesla. That is more of a like delay tactic. What I want to do is I want to just delay him so I can get my tanks in to provide a little bit of support. And I want to keep those ore refineries alive at the top of the map. And now you can see those medium tanks coming in. Let's see what they're trying to go for. Initially going for the Tesla, probably a good idea since the Tesla does a lot of damage. And now those medium tanks being pulled back a little bit. And unsurprisingly, some cyan tanks have returned to that ore patch. He's probably noticed I destroyed his outer base, so he's got a bit annoyed. And now these tanks are coming in, but I've got in a better position this time. I've got some tanks. I've got quite a bit of Tesla behind this as well. And let's see if he's trying to go in for an all-out attack. I am bringing my tanks forwards, so it's going to be tanks and Tesla working together. And let's see if we can defend against this army. Is it going to be enough, or is he going to be able to destroy the whole of my base? This is a question. And it's looking good so far. Those tanks are being whittled down, and it doesn't look like he has the numbers. There's just too many Tesla there, too many heavy tanks, and he's being pushed right back. And that was a big win, and he lost a lot there. And that's put us in a much better position than we were in just a few moments ago. But what we do have is we do have yellow lining up tanks at the other side of our base, and yeah, we have an ore truck going as well, an ore truck trying to use that ore patch, so we're going to try and get rid of that and take out some tanks at the same time. You can see we caught yellow napping. He's not moving those tanks around at all, and we're going to be able to take out those two ore trucks while he gets his other tanks to the scene. He's actually pulling them back. I don't know, maybe Cyan's attacking him from the other side, possibly. I'm not really sure there, but Yellow seems to have pulled back to his base. We do still have the problem, though, of Cyan ore trucks on that ore patch, just below my base. What I do know, though, is that Cyan isn't going to be in a hurry to attack that part of my base, so that's obviously a good thing. So what we'll have to do now is, I'm just having a look at Yellow there. He looks to be pulling his tanks somewhere, but
Unit lost.
I think Cyan's like got most of his tanks near my base, to be honest. I can see a big force there. He can't have many more tanks than that, I wouldn't have thought, but who knows. We're just getting our tanks sorted. The problem is now, we don't have the economy, and we don't have the resources really to go crazy. And now we see a yellow MCV there, and we're going to need to take care of that, so I'm going to send some tanks over and get that down. I think he's going to try and build ore refineries there and stuff like that, and you can see those medium tanks coming in for the defense. So I'm going to get my heavy tanks in there, and this is going to be quite a big battle between me and Yellow. Also going to get some Tesla in there just behind me, so if he does get close, the Tesla are going to help a little bit. And this looks like it's going to be quite an even fight, although it does look like he has more medium tanks than I do. Heavy tanks. And yeah, it looks like I'm outnumbered, so I'm going to have to maybe pull back a bit and just be a little bit careful and get in the range of that Tesla, because I'm going to need something to help me here, otherwise all those tanks are going to be lost. And you can see he knows the danger. He's pulled back a little bit. But as he does that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to creep forward with the Tesla. I'm still building some tanks as well. So we're taking out just some units there. And now as he pulls in again, he's going to hopefully get in range. He's definitely going to be in range of the Tesla I've just placed down there. And we'll have to see, is he going to try and push through and destroy the Tesla? Or is he going to go for the tanks? And as he goes through, he gets in the range of the other two Tesla, which are doing some great damage. So what we're just trying to do is whittle down his forces and hopefully just get the upper hand eventually. But yeah, it's just playing the long game here. I've still got some tanks, and it's just like a bait really. I'm just trying to bait him in, and as he comes in, I pull back, and then he gets in range of the Tesla. So yeah, let's see if we can get him in far enough. He seems to be, obviously he knows he doesn't want to get close to those Tesla. And you can just see as he gets in, some of those get too close and some of them get taken out. I'm also just having a look at what's happening at the bottom of the map, because Cyan does have a little bit of an army there, and my army has been just completely demolished now. So we'll have to see what cyan decides to do. And it looks like he's decided not to go for the attack on my base. And it looks like he's heading over to yellow's base instead. He's decided that yellow is now the biggest threat. The big question is, do either of us have a big enough army to defeat cyan? Because cyan has a lot of tanks there. And if cyan defeats yellow, am I going to have enough tanks to defend? What I am going to do though is I'm going to use this opportunity to take these ore trucks down. And now I've got the Tesla on that ore patch as well. And I'm going to take out those buildings as well. The couple of ore refineries and the construction yard. So yeah, managing to take this at once, but that was with a bit of help from cyan. Otherwise, I would have been in real trouble. And if cyan had gone on the attack, I would have been done for, because you can see my army now. I've only got about 10 tanks left. So I am in real, having a real struggle, I guess, at the moment. And just having a bit of a look around my base, see what I've got left. I've still got some war factories up. And I'm just going to start building some more ore refineries and get some more ore trucks working on this ore patch, because you can see there's a lot of ore. It's expanded out a bit, it's grown a little bit. I guess with those, when those tanks were sat on it, I wasn't able to do any mining, so it's been able to expand a little bit, and it's going to give me really good resources. I think where yellow's base is, there's no resources left, so it's putting me in a pretty strong position, hopefully. I just need to be careful of what cyan is doing. We can see some cyan ore trucks down there. There's obviously more than I want. And now he's trying to set up a base once again. And the question is, do I have enough units to go on the attack?
Unit ready.
I'm just building up a couple more ore refineries just to get my economy going really well. And you can see I'm now starting to stack ore once again. And yeah, you can see that cyan is starting to build up quite quickly. He's starting to get more ore trucks and ore refineries down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the attack and try and destroy that section of base. I really don't want him there because that's just too close to home. We destroyed, I think, an ore truck there. And now let's get these ore refineries down. There's 3 up so far. We'll be able to get them down. No, he's got nothing to defend with. And that construction yard as well. And what that means is any of the ore trucks collecting any resources will have to go back to his main base, which is quite a long way. At least in the safety of our own base, we do have some Tesla there, and I've got an MCV as well, so I'll be able to get faster building speed once again. But we're just having to try and defend against these medium tanks. Because he's got quite a decent army there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this MCV down to this bottom part and get some Tesla placed there. Because once I get like Tesla on the other side of the ore patch, that's going to make it absolutely impossible for him to get any ore trucks in. And you can see that, so that's going to help us a lot. And you can see that ore truck coming in and getting taken out by those Tesla. So now we can see I've got Tesla there. I've got a couple. It'll also help if he takes tanks in as well. And those tanks seem to be whittled down a little bit. He did go for the attack on yellow, so he must have lost some tanks in that process. And I've got 3 Tesla there and a load of tanks to help me defend. He's on the other side of the ore patch. But he's playing as the ally, so he doesn't have any base defences like I do. And now we're going to try and push in. You can see he's been caught napping a bit. He's not moving those medium tanks, and those medium tanks look like they're going to fall quite fast. And this has been a great trade for us. We're going to take out that base, the ore refinery, the construction yard, and then we can also go for the ore trucks as well. So yeah, cyan being wiped completely from that patch now, and as time goes on, I'm just getting in a better and better position. And you can see the ore trucks trying to go in now, and they're just getting absolutely demolished by those Tesla. And the game now seems to be going in my favour. However, what we have to remember is there's 2 opponents. There's cyan and there's yellow, and they could be both quite dangerous if they attack at the same time, because now I'll be the main priority because I've got the ore patch. And the question is there any, I don't know if there's any ore anywhere else on the map except that part of the map, and if there is, that's good news for me because it means I'm going to be able to take it all and win the game.
Construction complete.
We'll just have to wait and see what they've got. We know that yellow has those cruisers as well, which will provide a bit of a nuisance. What I'm doing now though is I've just brought like a Tesla death trap. So if cyan tries to go for the attack on my bottom base, I'm going to have an awful lot to defend with. And I'm just taking all these tanks through this part here to the top of the map. You can see now yellow bringing his tanks to defend. The question is, how many tanks does yellow have left? He's got a fair few, but it doesn't look so far like he's got enough to defend against these heavy tanks. And now I'll bring them through. Let's see what we can do here. Those medium tanks, we'll just move them around as much as possible. We can still see there is some more in this part of the map, but as time goes on, I'm going to be able to get more and more heavy tanks through, hit this little gap. He does have quite a few tanks left, but I don't think he's got enough to defend. And you can see those medium tanks being taken out quite quickly. I'm just getting more and more heavy tanks through, and I'm going to also be able to take out those economic units after I've destroyed these tanks. And it's going pretty well. Even with those turrets, it's not really, he hasn't got enough. And yeah, I'll just destroy those turrets because they are quite annoying. And that pillbox as well. The turrets do a lot of damage against tanks. Pillboxes are quite annoying though as well. And now we're going to take out that tech sensor. And you can see that yellow is selling up some of his buildings. I think he knows the game is up. And he also might, he's fighting a little bit though. I think what he's trying to do is sell some buildings, get some funds in, and now he's being able to get some medium tanks out. But, as I say, like, the number of medium tanks he has is not going to be enough. And I think what actually he's trying to do is he's trying to bait me towards those cruisers. To sell the buildings that were too far away, but now I'm in the when I get a bit closer, I get into the cruiser fire, which is pretty annoying because you can see those tanks now are pretty damaged. But what I'm going to try and do, and we can see that Cyan is also there as well, and Cyan has a much bigger tank army than I thought he did, and this could be quite dangerous. And there's a yellow, one of those gap generators, and yellow must have a structure somewhere because he is still firing, and he's still got weaponry. And I just need to be a little bit careful here. Oh wow, a lot of red tanks there. A lot of red tanks, and I don't know, those cyan tanks look like they're going towards my base, but I've just noticed I have a big army awaiting, so I'm going to be okay. Obviously that economy's coming through, and I've been able to replenish those tanks, and those cyan tanks are definitely not going to be enough. I'm going to be able to take them out, and then I'm going to be able to take out any other bases, so I am okay. Yeah, and you can see that yellow auto trying to go through my base there, try and get some funds, but we'll take that out, no problem. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head to the bottom of the base. Actually, I can see a gap generator there for yellow. I wonder if that's his last building. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see if we can get this gap generator down. Is it going to be yellow's last building? No, it's not. Yellow's still up. He's got some cruisers there firing. And what I'm doing now is I'm trying to take out those cruisers. But we see yet another gap generator. So he's down to one cruiser now. We'll see if this gap generator is his last building. We can't see in the bottom left. But yes, it is. And yellow is now officially out of the game. So now it's just cyan. And this is just going to be a bit of a clean-up. So in this game, we had a bit of a slow start. It wasn't like slow in getting built up. It was just slow in that not much happened. There wasn't much action. And that's one of the consequences of playing with just 3 players, because people aren't that eager to attack each other, because they know if 2 people fight each other, then the third one is going to have a chance to build up. And that's sort of what we saw happen here. We did have players which had varying levels of ability, which was a really good thing, because that's the only reason this match sort of worked. Usually it won't be that entertaining. But yeah, me and Yellow had a bit of a fight at the start of the game, and then Cyan came in with his big army and absolutely demolished a lot of my base. Yellow was coming from the other side. It was a pretty difficult situation, and also there was the pop-up bases from both Yellow and Cyan at opposite sides of my base. And the thing was, the crucial thing in this game was that I was right next to the main ore patches. And those ore patches were like quite big, and they didn't get used up straight away. It became crucial later in the game because as our armies started to dwindle down, mine, Yellow and Cyan's, I was able to replace my army, whereas the other 2 teams weren't. And that's what really won us that game. And I'm just doing a little bit of a base crawl as well, just to try and get rid of some of those buildings from Cyan. Because they are getting pretty annoying, and pretty annoying when they're in a little gap. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go for the attack on this base in the bottom left hand corner. So just wiping out the buildings there, and that's going to be pretty straightforward. It's quite open, and you can see some turrets going up, but those turrets are going to be no match for a big tank army. And those tanks going down, those turrets going down, and everything I think is going to be going down here. And now he's trying to bring some tanks to attack my base, but I've got Tesla in the way, and they're going to be enough to deal with that. Although he does have quite a few medium tanks, but as soon as he gets into the main part of my base, it's going to be a very different story. You can see him trying to like, I don't know, he's trying to like take a couple of tanks at a time and just test the waters. But there are Tesla there and they're going to destroy them, no problem. And now we can see here a load of turrets all together. But turrets at least are not like Tesla and they go down much easier. They do much less damage. And my tank's just going in there and steamrolling those turrets. And they're now all gone.
Construction complete.
And just rebuilding my defences at that part of the map. And just trying yet again to base crawl down. So we're going to be able to destroy a couple of those turrets there. You can see another war factory there. He's got a little base in that bottom left position, but it is soon going to go down. And it looks like finally Cyan has tapped out. So a pretty long game, which quite often happens with a free-for-all match. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.